very warm welcome to the amazing session of Sprintex ICSE, and the story that we are going to deal with today is A Face in the Dark. This is Sweta, your English master teacher at Vedantu. So guys, I hope you have already seen the video lecture related to this particular chapter, and I hope you're absolutely clear and ready with the Sprintex session. Alright guys, so yes, we are going to do the 3 marks and the 4 marks question just as it comes in your board exams. So we are almost at the end. We are only left with 3 more sessions, okay? So we will be completing on 27th of Feb with my greatest Olympic prize. The other subjects like physics and math is going to continue till 26th, and biochemistry and social science is also going to continue parallelly with English till 27th. So before beginning with the session, guys, don't forget to hit the like button, share the video amongst your friends, and also if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, then please do subscribe, and don't forget to hit the bell icon so that you do not miss out on any important notification. So this is the homework answer. First of all, thank you so much for putting all your comments in the comment section for the homework answer. Lovely answers I have seen. So very good. And guys, those of you who couldn't frame the answer, you can take help from this particular answer and definitely frame your own innovative answers. So let us begin with the session today. Okay. So this is the first extract, guys. This is the very beginning of the chapter about Mr. Oliver, right? Till pine forest. Okay, so where he used to take a shortcut, right, through a pine forest. That's it. Important point over here is Edin of the East. Okay, so Edin of the East is very, very important, guys. You can definitely expect a question. Okay. So the very first question for 3 marks is, who was Mr. Oliver? What was his profession? How did Mr. Oliver usually spend his evening? Very, very scoring, because there are 3 questions and you have 3 marks. So if you get these types of questions, guys, these are very scoring. I would definitely recommend you to attempt these. Okay? So who was Oliver? You all know. And also please do make separate paragraphs. I have not made over here, but please, I would request you to make separate paragraphs for separate questions. That would be easier for the examiner to evaluate you, right? So here you go with the answer. Mr. Oliver was an Anglo-Indian teacher at a school on the outskirts of the hill station of Shimla. Okay? The school where, okay, so he was a teacher by profession, that we have already come to know. And what was the name of his school? Edin of the East. Okay? He was a bachelor and probably staying alone on the school premises. He usually, now this is the third answer, he usually spent his evenings in Shimla Bazaar, which had cinema and restaurants. He used to stroll into the town in the evening as he was a bachelor and returned after dark, taking a shortcut through the pine forest to the school. That is how he used to spend his evenings, right? So when you're talking about taking a pine forest, okay, after dark, you can also just add one line about supernaturalism. Element of supernatural or element of mystery that the author has created when he describes, Mr. Oliver taking his shortcut through the pine forest after dark. You can just add if you want again. Okay, so that would kind of make your answer different from the others. Next question is, why was the school where Mr. Oliver walked called the Edin of the East? As I told you, this is a very, very important question, guys. Very, very important. Okay, so I think I have done this when I was doing the one shot video. So I hope you have already watched the one-shot video. If you haven't, then guys, please do watch it. Okay. So Edin was a very rich English medium school in UK Berkshire. Okay, in the prose, Edin of the East means it is being used for the school where Oliver used to teach in order to create a comparison. Okay, that is very, very evident over here. As the school was also an English medium school, and also the students coming here, they were from wealthy families, right? So hence there is a comparison, and that is why it is called Edin of the East. Okay, so they were supposed to wear blazers, caps, ties, properly, groomed, prim and proper, right? And that is why the entire comparison. Moving ahead, we have the next passage. Now here you can see the creation of airy sound, okay, and then carrying a torch, okay. Um, the battery is running down, okay. All these then with flickering light, okay. All these boys sitting alone, rock. All these are creating an element of mystery and supernaturalism. Okay, so this is very very important, guys. So if you are asked a question related to, we will do a question related to mystery and supernaturalism. So if I had not mentioned these points over there, please take the points from here. Okay, I've underlined the supernatural elements over here, right? Okay. Moving ahead, the question from here is, what did Oliver see when he was returning? Okay. So Mr. Oliver was returning through the pine forest as usual. He used to often take that shortcut. Remember, we did already through the pine forest. He was carrying a torch to, of course, guide him. It was quite dark. Okay, when something caught his attention. What was that? He saw a boy who was sitting on the rock, weeping with his hands on his face. He was surprised to witness a student out of school at that hour. He was worried about the boy's safety and therefore he approached him asking why was he out at that hour and also the reason for his weeping. Okay, so you can also definitely add that the author has deliberately, with the use of his artistic skills, he has definitely created an element of mystery, an element of dark, I mean, yes, supernaturalism also. So definitely talk about his artistic skills in the description. Okay, that would again add. So whenever you are writing any answer, try and incorporate something related to the art of writing, or the art, the super, because supernaturalism is a very 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 important important topic that we can take separately for this particular chapter. So definitely you can incorporate that in all the answers mostly. I mean, of course, use your discretion, but yes, majority of the answers you can write that line. Okay, that is very useful. Moving ahead, the boy looked up. He took his hands from his face and looked up at his teacher. So definitely there's an element of surprise over here. You can add that in any answer that you get from here, right? So let us see what's the question. How did Oliver react after seeing the face of the boy? So he was definitely, initially he was angry. Okay, when he saw the boy sitting in the late hours of the evening, he definitely thought that he was a miscreant and he was definitely very very angry. But when he understood that the boy was crying continuously, he was weeping constantly. So he approached him in order to ask the reason. Okay, when Oliver went close to the boy lifted his face and Oliver was shocked. As I told you, there's an element of shock, there's an element of surprise. All right. The torch fell from his hand and he started running towards the building crying for help. So he was feeling helpless. Okay. The boy was without eyes, nose, or lips. He had no features and he was a faceless boy. Okay, so that is something very very important. And when you are describing, see, if you have watched the video lecture, the first video lecture which I had uploaded, where I have completely given the explanation, I have talked about the faceless symbolism, or you can say various interpretations. Okay, so you can definitely incorporate this from the video of Umang. Okay, please go through that Umang, where I have talked about how you can have multiple interpretations of this particular chapter, not just the supernatural feature, but there are multiple interpretations. When we talk about the Oliver, who was a bachelor, so definitely he was in need of love, care, etc etc. So a closer look into his personality, right? So all those things, please add from that particular lecture where I have explained explicitly. All right. So please add this when you are saying, he lifted his face. Oliver was shocked. He went close to the boy. So when you are saying close to the boy, please add the symbolic meaning, saying, a closer look into the personality. Okay. And then he saw that, he saw the boy faceless. Right. So what is the symbolic interpretation that I have mentioned in the video lecture? Please add it from there. All right, so I've underlined it, and I'm also writing here, making a note over here saying a closer look into the personality. Thoda sa mehnat you have to do, right? Okay, so please add that. All right, guys, so moving ahead, that would definitely, make your answer a bit different from the rest. And also it would show your knowledge and depth of understanding of the chapter. Okay, okay, next is, and there's where the story should end. Okay, but it doesn't, and it continues. Okay, so the question from here is, how does the watchman enhance the surprise element of the story? Very, very, very important question. Again, very important question. So what happened later is, first of all, the introduction of the watchman is full of doubt and mystery, right? After seeing the faceless boy, Mr. Oliver was terrified and started running towards the school. Towards the school, crying for help. And then he saw through the forest. Oliver, came across the watchman holding a lantern in the middle of the path. So it is not known or mentioned later from where had he appeared in this deserted forest, in this lonely, isolated forest. Okay, when he is supposed to help the frightened, so we expected that he would act as a comfort, okay, as a source of comfort for Oliver. That was our expectation. But how is this expectation not fulfilled, or how is this expectation, what to say? It's completely, twisted, or it is definitely the opposite to what we expect. What happens is he turns himself to be ghostly, okay, to be a ghostly figure, which is very, very much shocking and surprising, because at this point of juncture we had really believed, kya naam hai iska? The watchman to be very, very comforting, because at that time he was completely helpless. Oliver was helpless, so he sought a source of comfort or solace so that he could narrate his story, right? But what happened was even more shocking, even more surprising. So you have to bring that element of surprise in your answer, right? So these elements of the story act as a twist in the tale and leave the reader intrigued. Very, very important line. So we are intrigued by the twist at the end of the story, because here the story, here the passage also begins with what? That's where the story should end, right? So we expected the end of the story, but the story continues and we encounter the watchman, right? And when we encounter the watchman, initially we also, like Oliver, thought of, you actually kind of impersonate Oliver and you take his place, empathizing with him, and you think that, okay, I'm now going to narrate all my experiences to him. And then what happens is completely opposite, or, surprising. Okay, so that is what makes the reader intrigued, leaves the readers intrigued. That is something very important. So I hope, guys, so far so good and you have been enjoying the session throughout. So if you want to get further knowledge and score 100% marks, you can definitely avail our live classes, unlimited live classes with fun and high level quizzes. You just need to visit the link in the description box, guys, and pin comment. You can compete with the students throughout the world, and the replays that you can watch, you can definitely watch the replays if you miss any of the classes, but the replays are also very, very interactive, and you have the quiz questions and leaderboards even in the replay. Okay, and you can download the content with handwritten notes of the master teachers. Plus, the best feature available is the doubt solving feature. You have class teachers at in each and every session. You have class teachers depending on the strength of the students, and they are there to cater to your doubts. So you understand, when your doubts are being catered to, every time, in every session, your concepts are becoming very, very clear. You have no piling up of your doubts. And assignments. After each and every session, you have assignments, you have tests. Okay. We give you the performance report of those tests. So that is super amazing, and that will be easier for you to analyze yourselves. Plus, you have 5,000 plus micro courses and crash courses for competitive exams. That is even, the icing on the cake. Okay. So that too in less price. You just need to visit the link in the description box and pin comment. Use the coupon code SWREPRO. And here you go, guys. We are there for you till the end. We have brought a 50% discount. It is no more till 14th Feb. It has been extended, guys. Please note, this offer has been extended because we want more and more of you to join us. Okay? So for after 50% off, you see per class price becomes 3.3 rupees only, which is definitely cheaper than the small packet of Lays, I should say, right? So just you need to visit the link and use the coupon code SWREPRO. So resuming back to the session. Okay. Okay. What is it, Sahib? Asked the watchman. So now we see the watchman finally, he also has no features, no facial features. Okay, so here we are absolutely shocked and surprised. So what answer did Mr. Oliver give when the watchman asked why he was running? Very easy, very straightforward question. So after encountering with the faceless boy, definitely was crying for help, running. He was stopped by the watchman who was holding a lantern. Okay, he asked Oliver the reason for his running, and then Oliver replied that he had seen a boy sitting on the rock who was crying, and what had he encountered? That he had no eyes, no ears, no mouth. Oliver was so petrified, that is, so puzzled, so confused, okay, so disturbed. This petrified meaning disturbed. Okay, that he couldn't even complete his sentence. He was so tired from running. He was exhausted. He was, trying to catch his breath. So he just, said the main words of the sentence. He couldn't even speak in complete sentence. The presence of the watchman is definitely a mystery. It adds to the surprise element. We have already done that. So please take that from the previous answer. Okay, that it adds to the surprise, to the element of surprise. Okay. And however, after hearing, he himself showed his face, which were also without features. Okay, guys, so the last question from this chapter is, how does Ruskin Bond create an atmosphere of strangeness, mystery, supernaturalism? This is a basic concept which you should understand when you are dealing with this particular chapter. So definitely there's an element of mystery, strangeness, atmosphere. So you have to narrate the story in short. Okay, so I have narrated the story in short till here. Okay, where the boy has no face. Okay, even the watchman has no face, right? And all these. So he has no eyes, no face, etc., etc. Not even an eyebrow. So definitely this is making the atmosphere supernaturalism. Supernatural. Okay. And then in order to create the atmosphere of strangeness, remember the very first question I had underlined those, phrases which creates an element of supernaturalism. So definitely that is what you have to also say, those words which create an element of supernaturalism. So I have used those words over here. If I have missed any of the words, guys, please use the words from the beginning of the passage where I had underlined, right? So I don't think I have missed any. Anyways, so the addition of the words like sad, airy sounds, shook convulsively, reached with silent sobbing, creates a strange and supernatural atmosphere. I missed out that word. Okay, so that is how your answer should look like, with a proper introduction and a proper conclusion. So I hope you have understood the chapter and understood the very important questions from here, guys. So please don't forget to answer this question as your homework. character sketch of Mr. Oliver. I'm sure after reading the entire story, you would definitely be able to do so. And the next session is going to be on Angel in Disguise. We are left with few more sessions. The previous session was on Hearts and Hands. I hope you enjoyed that as well. Do not miss out the next session, guys. And do not forget to visit the link in the description box. Use the coupon code SWREPRO. And you have to if you haven't subscribed to the channel, guys, do subscribe to the channel. Also like the video, share amongst your friends, and subscribe. Bye bye, see you again in the next class. Take care.